Today on Simple Food, Simple Life, we're going to make Hasselback potatoes. Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Today we're going to make Hasselback potatoes. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to parboil our potatoes, and that just simply means that we're going to just cook them partially. We're not going to cook them all the way because these are eventually going to go in the oven, and when we parboil them, it helps facilitate the cooking process after we get them in the oven. Now, what I have here, I've chosen 6 nice potatoes approximately the same size, and I have scrubbed them, and I have them in some water, and I am going to boil them, just parboil them, and drain them well, let them dry out, and cool off. Okay, so when we get that done, we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to make Hasselback potatoes. You're going to like it. Okay, we'll be back. All right, these have come to a boil, and I'm going to let them boil about 7 minutes, and I'm going to pop a lid on there, and when my timer goes off, I'll go to the next step. Okay, now then, they are par-cooked, par-boiled, and the potatoes have been drained. I put them back in the pan, and my burner is still a little bit hot, so I just put them back on that warm burner, and they are going to dry out because that's what we want. We want them to dry out a little bit. Then I'm going to move them off and just let them cool down until they are room temperature. Okay, now this is the next step. We have to cut the potatoes. I've already cut 4 of the potatoes because I have 6 of them to bake, and I have 2 left excuse me, for demonstration purposes. So, let me grab a drink of water. All right, now then, what I have here are 2 wooden spoons. And the point of what we need to do with the Hasselback potato to make it a Hasselback potato is we have to cut it. Now you see how that's cut in slices, and what's going to happen when these are baked, they fan out somewhat, and they bake on the inside and the outside. Okay, all right, now let's do this. Got my knife here, and I'm just simply going to use these wooden spoons as a brace, and so I'm just going to kind of hold on. You see how I'm doing that here? And what I like to do is I like to leave enough on the end so hopefully the end does not fall off, and you can see that these are partially done. Now you can slice them as big or as thick or as thin as you want. I kind of like to do medium. I don't get too crazy with it. Just take your time. It is a little bit easier because remember, these are parboiled, and although they're not cooked through, they are parboiled, which helps to soften them up just a little bit and lets you makes it a little bit easier to slice. Okay, all right, now then, almost there. Just be careful. You don't have to be too crazy. Now, see what I'm saying there? See how that does? Now, I'm just going to put it in the pan. And I've got one more that we're going to do just for demonstration purposes because I want to show you what it looks like. Let me clean my knife off a little bit. The skin of the potato is still on there, and it's a little sticky, so something might gum up your knife. But just take your time. And just make sure that that's why I put the spoon portion back here, because that way my palm can help stabilize the spoons. Now you can put it between 2 cutting boards. Really, just whatever you feel like you have that you want to use, that's fine. And if you're good at cutting, I guess you won't need one of these spoons, but that's up to you. I'm not that great at this part, so Okay, now, Hasselback potatoes originated in Sweden at a restaurant called Hasselbacken, and in Stockholm. And there's a controversy. Some say that it goes back to the 1700s. Some say that it goes back to 1952, I think, or 54. And that a apprentice chef came up with this, and that's how it originated. But either way, they're really good. And the original recipe method called for some butter, some breadcrumbs, and some crushed almonds. But I'm not doing that. I am simply going to use a little butter that I have here. Now, this is what I did. I melted about a half a stick of butter, and then I compensated with some oil because I don't want the butter to burn when it is in the oven on the potatoes. And I added a little bit of garlic powder and some parsley and salt and pepper. So basically I just made a seasoned oil, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to spoon this over the potatoes, and just a tablespoon or so on each potato, and just to get them going. And then about midway through cooking, as they fan out, I will spoon a little bit more of this on there. I think it makes a really good potato. And I have put a little bit of oil in the bottom of my pan, so hopefully they won't stick. Now then, this is the thing of it. I want you to put these in a 350-degree oven. It's going to take about 30 minutes because these are parboiled. But midway through, just kind of check them, see if they're fanned out. See if you want to baste them with a little bit more of your seasoned oil and butter. And that's all there is to it. And when they're done, we're going to come back and I'm going to show you what that is, okay? Now, if you want, you can sprinkle a little sea salt on there, a little bit of the heavier textured sea salt. I don't have any, so I'm not going to use it. Okay, all right, we'll be back and we'll show you the finished product of Hasselback potatoes. All right, my timer went off at 20 minutes, and I did that for a reason, so that I could take these out, check them, and baste them. And do you see how they are starting to split? See that? They're starting to split, and that's what I am looking for. So now, and I'm going to just baste them again. I'm just going to put a little bit of, not really basting, I'm just spooning the seasoned oil on them and butter. And that's all you do. That's pretty much it. Now then, I better get some more of that goodness out. We don't want to waste anything, do we? No, we do not. All right. And doesn't the parsley make it look party? It does. But you can use any seasoning that you want. You can put some Parmesan cheese. If you're going to do cheese, I wouldn't do cheese until towards the end so that it doesn't burn. And you can see right here, my end was coming off, so I just stuck a toothpick in there because I wanted him to stay together while he's cooking. Okay, all right, going back in the oven. I'm actually going to put these in for another 20 minutes because I can see that they can take more baking time. These should come out golden brown, okay? So we'll be back. All right, I took these out after another 20 minutes. Remember, I spooned the seasoned oil on there, and I put them back in for another 20 minutes. Now then, I like the way these look, but I want them to be a little more golden. So I'm simply going to pop these under a broiler for about 5 minutes or so to bring that color up the way I want it, and then they will be done to my satisfaction. Okay, all right, that's what I'm going to do. So come right back. Here they are, Hasselback potatoes. Now, I just put these under the broiler for, I think it was all total, because you have to keep an eye on them if you do that. They were in there about 4 minutes. Okay, but make sure you keep an eye on them because you don't want them to burn and all of your work be for nothing. All right, let's take a look at these. I want to show you. See, they have a little crispy potato skin on the bottom, and they are perfect. And I took that toothpick out of this one here, and then what I did was I just took my spoon and I basted a little bit of this good seasoned oil over the top of them before I'm going to serve them. Now then, this is what I want you to know. You can make a whole tray of these. You can double the amount that you need, and you can actually store them after they cool down. You can store part of them in a container, and when you want to reheat them, just pop them under the broiler for a few minutes and they will be just as fresh as when you took them out of the oven the first time. They are really a great make-ahead dish. You can, depending on what you put with these, you can just make a meal out of these, frankly. I look at it this way. A Hasselback potato is like a baked potato, and a fried potato got married and he had little Hasselbacks. That's what I think. Okay? All right, listen. I hope you give this a try. It's really, really good. There really isn't anything to it. It just takes a little bit of time to bake them. And that allows you time to do other things, doesn't it? While you're waiting for your Hasselbacks to be done. Okay, listen, I love you. If I can do it, you can do it. So get in the kitchen, make something good, okay? All right, I love you. And you just remember that little is much when God is in it. Okay, talk to you later. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and don't forget to click on the links below to find more good stuff.